This has been like a nightmare for my family. And my hope and prayer today is that anybody with any information, please come forward and do the right thing. And I really want to reach out to the parents today from another mom. If you know your child went to this party, sit down and talk to them again and just beg and plead with them to do the right thing and speak up. Speak up about anything they may know or anything, even if they've just heard anything. No information is not valuable. So just please come forward and do the right thing. Jaquan was a good kid on a path to success, getting ready to start his third year of college, and nobody's child deserved to lose their life going to a party that night. So any information will help. So I'm begging and pleading with anyone with anything, please come forward and do the right thing. And I just want to say thank you to Portage County and the detectives, the lieutenant, the sheriff, everybody who has been working night and day just trying to get answers. This is very frustrating as a parent, and I know no parent want to get that phone call to come to the hospital. Your child has been shot, and it's just been a frustrating time for me and my family. And honestly, I don't even sleep good at night. I might get 2-3 hours of sleep, and I'm just up praying, for answers and praying to God that somebody would come forward and do the right thing. Please, I'm begging you to do the right thing.
Mrs. Williams, can you tell, you mentioned that he was in his third year at college, Eastern Michigan, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us a little bit about the type of kid he was? When I say kid, I know he's an adult, but talk about what types of things that he liked to do with what he was studying, maybe a little bit personal about your son.
He was studying political science. He went to John Hay Early College and graduated in 3 years. He did 9th, 10th grade year and went straight to his 12th grade year. He was in a lot of organizations in college as well as back home, doing a lot of community service. Jaquan was the type of kid, he liked to inspire everyone else. And even kids that were older than him, he inspired them to want to do better and go finish school and get a degree, because that's just the type of person he was. He was funny, outgoing, always cracking jokes, He was a people person. He was very talkative, always happy, never did much complaining at all. And he was a very respectable kid, even, just around Cleveland. And I just want people to remember to hold on to what he did and know even in his passing that they still can do better. They still can finish school. They still can do the right thing. And even his friends that were at the party, you still can do the right thing by just coming forward. If you can remember something, if someone else told you something, just come forward and speak up about what you know.
And what do you think of a person who's out there, who's done something like this, still not captured, and could be so cold?
Well, my prayer is that they have a heart and just turn themselves in and let the police help them. They won't know if they can get help unless they come forward and turn themselves in. I don't hate them, but I would like to see them off the streets and come forward and just do the right thing. They have an opportunity to explain their side of the events that happen. So just come forward and do the right thing.
How frustrating is it knowing that there were so many people at this party? Someone had to have seen something and that no one is coming forward.
That's the number one frustration with all of us standing here, that it was just too many people there not to see something. So just come forward and do the right thing. This is your second chance, to do the right thing. Be a human being and do the right thing.
Question for Lieutenant Johnson.
Yes, sir.
Could you explain the time frame on when the deputies arrived, and were they there the entire time, or did they come, show up, give them a warning, leave, and come back?
Well, they had,
Can you step closer to the microphone?
you're fine. They had met with the hosts of the party and talked to them, and the hosts were being cooperative about the fact that it was getting overcrowded and needed to be shut down. Then about an eighth of a mile north on State Route 43, there's a restaurant there, there's some businesses up there, and they continued to see cars pull in. So they went up there to shut that parking lot down and start to get people out. But then they continued to see people that were then parking along the roadway. So then when they went back to the house and told the guests that party needed to be shut down, the host of the party. And while they were shutting it down and trying to get people out of the residence is when they heard the gunshot go off.
Hindsight being 20/20, could anything have been done initially to shut this thing down when it was happening, when you were first there?
You know, this was a question when you got there. The people that were given the party were very cooperative. It wasn't that you had people that said, no, we're not going to help shut it down. And they did. I believe that this was a party that it ended up getting posted on Facebook. It was well known. It was amazing that how many people that were there from not in the area. We've interviewed people out of state, from Columbus, Pennsylvania. So I think this was a party that they did not anticipate the amount of people that were showing up, and it got overwhelming. The party started around 10 o'clock, but then around 11 o'clock they started to get a large amount of people coming in, and it got very large very quick. Because up till 11:30 we hadn't received any phone calls from any of the neighbors, and there's a large residential area there that normally if you get a loud party you start getting phone calls. So, you know, at that time, with everybody being cooperative and getting them out, normally you don't send a force of deputies up there to get them out when you've got the people that are putting on the party helping to get the people, because you're not trying to create a situation. So,
Have people been sending any cell phone pictures or video that they've taken from that night? Has that been helpful at all?
and I've talked to Mrs. Williams about this. What is sad is we have had no one come forward. Any of the information that we were able to acquire as Detective Lavrich and the other deputies and detectives, we'd get names or we'd hear rumors, and then we would follow up on it. And then that would open one door to lead to another. But this is one case which I'm sad to say that no one has just called us and offered up information without us first contacting them.
And how many people do you estimate were there?
I would say a conservative estimate was 300 to 400 people. I mean, it was, when the deputies got there, the parking lot was full, and they continued to roll in. So it was a huge party. That's why we're all comfortable in the fact that it wasn't that this happened right when the party started. The party had been going on for at least an hour and a half, 2 hours. There are people, and more than one person, that knows exactly what happened and knows who did this. And that's what we're hoping they'll come forward.
Do you just think they're scared? Is that what's going on here? Are they protecting somebody, or what do you think?
And Mrs. Williams and I were talking before we came over. It's sad, but sometimes it's like the value of life. It seems sometimes young people, the loss of life doesn't have the effect on them that it does on older people. And regrettably, some of the people we've interviewed, and you're talking to them and about the fact I frequently use Mrs. Williams as you know, I've got a mother that needs some closure, and it's just that, you know, the life of a 19-year-old young man gone doesn't seem to have the effect that you'd like to hope it would, and that's been very disappointing. You know, it's the fact that, you know, there are people that know, and this young man lost his life for really no reason, and no one wants to come forward.
The other woman who was shot, did she have any information, or did it seem to come from behind?
She was cooperative. Kaylin was cooperative. She was actually on the other side of the room, so it's more along the line that she was not directly involved. I mean, fortunately, it wasn't a life-threatening wound, but she didn't really realize what happened right away. She heard the gunshot and then realized that she had been also shot. But because of the amount of people there, depending on where you were at, you know, this didn't happen spur of the moment. There was some altercation that had occurred, so people had started to pull back. So I know people were focused on where the gunshot took place. That's why I'm comfortable in saying people had to know, because they had pulled back, there was this altercation, so you've got people watching, so they're well aware of what's taking place.
One shooter?
To the best of our knowledge, yes, ma'am.
Do you think it was like indiscriminate gunfire, or any reason to believe that the people who were injured were targeted by the person?
I have nothing to indicate, well, Kaylin, obviously not, because she was across the room. Jaquan, I don't believe he was the target. I believe, as Mrs. Williams said, her son was very friendly. He was very outgoing. People have described him as being a peacemaker. I think he might have been involved trying to calm it down or in some way diffuse the situation and got shot. I don't have anything to indicate during the investigation that he had done anything to make himself a target, no.
Any of the deputies were there, did they have any body cameras on that may have been helpful in identifying people who were at least at the party?
No, at that time, no, ma'am.
And same with dash cam video.
Their cars weren't parked right up there, and the one vehicle that was there, I know, did not have one in it. The other one, I'm not sure if it was active. We reviewed it. He's the canine officer, and he was parked down the driveway.
Was it just 2 shots fired or more?
That's unclear at this time. We're not sure if it was one shot that went through Jaquan and ended up hitting Kaylin, or there was 2 shots fired. We've heard multiple descriptions, 1 shot, 2 shot. The officers there heard 1 shot.
But no other cell casings, like wasn't 3 or 4 or 5?
No, it wasn't multiple, no, sir.
And I think you guys were talking about it before, but where's the money coming from?
The Sheriff Doak is putting up, and Prosecutor Vic Vicalucci is putting up the other half. We're going half and half right now. Hopefully that'll be some incentive for someone to come forward.
Is that like a law enforcement trust fund, Sheriff, that money comes from? The 25
Furtherance of justice,
for the Department of Justice?
yes, furtherance of justice funds. Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.